Well, on Wednesday evening, 8 Republican candidates for the 2024 presidential election took center stage in the first GOP debate of the campaign season. Now, several of the nominees had high approval rates according to polls taken over the past months, but none so much as former President Trump, who opted out of the debate. Let's bring in political strategist and founder of the Warning newsletter, YouTube channel and podcast, Steve Schmidt, to discuss this more. Good to see you here. Now, you've called this a disastrous first Republican presidential debate. Given where they were polling going into this, who do you think had the best and worst performance of the evening?
I think that, Vivek Ramaswamy dominated the debate. And what he did was attack the integrity of every other candidate on that debate stage as part of a conspiracy, a plot, the insidious they bought and sold, communicating that to a political base that thrives on anger, thrives on resentment, thrives on grievance. So when you watch this debate, it reminded me of the admonition from John Kennedy's inaugural address, where he advised and warned about the foolish men who sought power by trying to ride the back of the tiger only to find themselves inside. And so when you think about 7 of those politicians who were all part of the Trump administration in some form or another as elected officials within the Republican Party, it is interesting to watch in year 7 of this, them all be devoured to some extent by a 38-year-old demagogue who worships at the altar of Donald Trump and was really on the debate stage as his proxy and then some.
And the thing is, though, you have to wonder then, if you already have Donald Trump as the front runner, why do you need a Vivek here? If he's sort of mimicking the same talking points and is a sort of a Trump light at this point, and especially when it comes to the economy, what should we be focusing on? What is the difference between the two?
Well, I think that you have to step back and what is it that we're watching? And I would submit to you that it was an illusion. It's not a debate. It's a reality show, a Fox News produced spectacle. Now, this news organization that hosted it paid almost a $1 billion settlement for lying about the results of an election that led in the end to a violent insurrection that Trump, while on with Tucker Carlson, competing with this, celebrated as a beautiful, beautiful day. So when you look at Bret Baier, who's asking the questions, on the election eve, Bret Baier was afraid to tell his audience the truth about who actually won the election, setting in motion the debacle that is to come. In the end, though, you have 8 people on the stage that are 40 to 50 to 60 points behind Donald Trump. So what degree is this spectacle just a ratings illusion, simply not real as a contest? So Nikki Haley has a moment. Chris Christie has a moment. Everyone has a moment. Nikki Haley goes to Vivek Ramaswamy correctly, in my estimation. You know nothing. You're light as a feather on foreign policy. But he has the same position as Trump. Mike Pence, who Trump tried to have hung, raises his hand along with Nikki Haley when they're asked, even if Trump is sent to prison, will you still support him? And the answer is, of course. And so there's a farcical, surreal quality that plays out to all of this as a cultural matter. And I think politics is downstream from culture. And so there's this surreal, delusional aspect to all of this where you sit back and you scratch your head. You say, what are we even watching here? And when you sum up and total all the strangeness of the evening, all the misstatements, the thinness of belief, the contradictions, it's really an extraordinary type of event. I mean, can you imagine Franklin Roosevelt or John Kennedy or Richard Nixon or Jimmy Carter being asked to respond to a YouTube country music song. These people are running for president of the United States. And by the way, when that song is Rich Man North of Richmond, Washington's north of Richmond, and that's where Brett Baer lives. He qualifies. So the whole thing is a contradiction, moment to moment to moment, filled with hypocrisy and delusion, just a surreal event on about 35 different levels.